Hello, passengers, and welcome aboard the TV Pilot's License with service to LA and new beginnings. We ask that you please fasten your headphones, secure your podcasting device, and remember that sometimes having a connecting flight to your destination can be nice. And sometimes, well, you get a 5-hour delay, a coupon that doesn't cover any food costs, and ultimately stuck in Des Moines.
Welcome to TV Pilot's License. My name is Geoff Kerbis, joined by Rich Inman and Max Singer. How you boys doing today?
By God, they never give us the example if it's Dallas Fort Worth or Dallas Love Field. We're missing canonical details in today's pilot.
Max, I have great news. I have great news for you, Max. It's our first spinoff.
Well, gentlemen, this week, rather than talking about the hit series that, created a generation of sitcom lovers known as
We'll never
Friends,
do Friends.
We're going to talk about the spinoff known as Joey. But before we do so, maybe you're a first-time flyer, maybe you're a frequent flyer. Max, can you tell folks what this podcast is all about?
There's plenty of podcasts dedicated to Friends. There's entire HBO Max reunion specials dedicated to Friends. We're giving you the hard-hitting analysis on the spin-off Joey, which lasted a surprisingly long time. Joey, by today's sitcom standards, would be 10 seasons.
We're going to talk about it in the history of the show. It's insane how well this show did by today's standards, but poorly by yesteryear's standards. So can't wait to discuss that in more depth.
Here at TV Pilot's License, we break down and analyze the pilot episodes of some of TV's most famous, or in some cases, today's case, infamous shows. We learn more about how these shows came to be and were originally made. Rich is currently chugging a beer if you turn to our live feed. If they're effective pilots and make us want to watch more, if we think they can be made today, go back and stream our old episodes from wherever you listen to podcasts. Check us out on YouTube and TikTok to see Rich chug Modelo and me drink hot lemon water with honey with a mug with my face on it. And if it is your first time flying with us, then welcome aboard.
And Rich give a spin-off level worthy birth. But Rich, it is time for your question of the week.
And I won, Max, so you speed it up next time. All right, so I gotta know, because this is obviously a spinoff for some show, I can't remember. What is the if you had to pick a character from a very popular TV show that could give the absolute worst spinoff, what would that character be? What is that spinoff?
Max, what are you thinking?
Ooh. Okay, so I am going with just a full-on Jean-Ralphio Saperstein spinoff from Parks and Rec. I think that taking the wild card and making him be your protagonist, be your straight man, is just a recipe for disaster. I think that it would almost work better as a meta show where Jean-Ralphio Saperstein is playing himself and trying to make a show, and it's just crashing and burning around him as a result of his incompetence to hold together a business plan and faking his own death for insurance purposes multiple times.
I love that. That honestly sounds like a really good show, though. I would watch that.
Oh, yeah, damn it, I messed up.
That's the problem, is I was like, oh, what would be a really bad show? And then I thought, for the Breaking Bad heads out there, there's already a spin-off show, right? Everybody, there's Call Saul, all that fun stuff. But I was thinking, what if we just followed the dead body of Jane Margolis throughout multiple seasons of TV? Yes, Kristen Ritter's dead body, not dead Kristen Ritter, but her playing a dead body and everything that happens around her. But also, we would all really hate to see just a Newman show, even though we love the actor himself. I think that Wayne Knight is fantastic, but I don't need that much Newman.
I don't know, man. An office comedy at the post office sounds pretty entertaining. Also, Jeff, before we get to Rich, were you going to call it Everybody Calls Saul?
Yes, I was going to call it Everybody Calls Saul.
And we all know the show is Somebody Calls Saul, right? No?
Well, unless you're this podcast, which we've never called Saul.
Yeah, we've never called Saul. We've never called Breaking Bad. But, Rich, what is your bad character spinoff?
Okay, I'm going into the world of That 70s Show for this one. Obviously, a very, very popular sitcom. And I am giving this to Mitch Hedberg's character of the guy that runs the snack stand. I don't remember the character's name. That's how like boring that character was. It was like a reward for him for like winning some sort of stand-up competition or something like that he got that role. And it's perfect. I love it. But literally nothing would happen the entire day. It'd be perfect.
You just watch a Mitch Hedberg special. Like that's literally where we're at. Like listen to an album. Like there no need for a TV show. TV is very expensive to make. Just listen to an album and you're gonna have a great time.
Oh, the character's name is Frank. Yes, he works at the Hub.
Yeah, classic. Everyone knows Frank from the Hub.
Everyone knows
Everybody
Frank.
calls Frank. But Rich, thank you so much for that question of the week. Let's talk a little bit more about Joey. And we're going to start off with a quick synopsis that is, let's just say, very to the point. In this spinoff of Friends, Joey Tribianni moves to Los Angeles to pursue his acting career. Like, I have so many thoughts and so many questions.
Did you say Friends?
Yeah, of Friends. What is that?
Is that the whole name of the show?
I like that it specifically, and I took this out, but you know what? Fuck it. They say Friends 1994 as if there's another Friends that like people are going to confuse it and be like, oh yeah, the original Friends.
There's the
like,
Super Friends.
Yeah, exactly.
1994, A Friends Odyssey.
Max, how did this show get made?
Today, we're talking about the pilot episode of Joey, which originally aired on September 9th, 2004 on NBC. And we're talking about the show's creators, Scott Silveri and Shauna Goldberg-Meehan a bit. Husband and wife duo Silveri and Goldberg-Meehan met while working together at the Harvard Lampoon. Goldberg-Meehan is the daughter of comedy writer Gary David Goldberg, creator of Family Ties.
Oh.
The duo worked as writers and producers on Friends beginning in its 1996 season and stayed on through the finale in 2004.
Wow.
After the finale of Friends in May 2004, Matt LeBlanc signed on for a spin-off series following his character Joey Tribianni, although two Friends co-creators, Marta Kaufman and David Crane, declined to participate. Kevin Bright did sign on, serving as executive producer and today's director. A pilot was quickly filmed and sent out as a screener to preview the show and drive business, but the pilot leaked online in that July. The screener tested poorly and was retooled with a recast love interest for Joey in the addition of the character of Alex. Canonically, the role of Gina Tribianni was played on Friends by KJ Steinberg, and Jennifer Coolidge had previously guest starred in Season 10. The show was filmed at Studio 24 in the Warner Brothers lot, the same soundstage where Friends was filmed.
Oh, that's a cute little fun fact. I like that.
I feel like we have to discuss the fact that Friends ended in May of 2004. Mm-hmm. Matt LeBlanc signed on for a spin-off series after the show ended, and this pilot aired on primetime NBC 4 months later.
That's fast. That's a quick turnaround.
There's a part of me that I really wish we knew if Joey was the first choice. You know, like, and we can talk about that. I think that's actually a really interesting question that we could be asking is like, who other than Joey or what pitch the non-Joey Friends spin-off series?
You don't want to watch Ross? Can I sell you Ross on Ross?
I want Ross in the museum the entire time. That's all I want. Just playing with dinosaur bones.
It's a paleontology themed rom-com.
Yes. Oh my God. But that is such an interesting point, Max. Television, while faster than movies, right? It takes time to build these things. So for that many people to be bought in fully on the idea of we just finished Friends, biggest show ever, right? To this point in time, we got to get Joey on the air. Otherwise, people are going to lose interest in NBC. That feels like the vibe almost.
Yeah, and to have a writer's room and to plan out a season and to get your entire cast and crew and sets built and everything to get this show to a point where you feel that good to air and to have had to retool it, to have shot a pilot that quickly, gotten a screener out to executives to try to get, advertisers to sign on and to build hype to make this your big fall debut, have to retool that, recast that, reshoot it, And like 4 months pretty much to the date of the Friends finale, you're rolling this thing out like on Thursday night primetime.
I have a question. Do you think they lied? Do you think to make sure that none of the cast of Friends was upset that they didn't get a spinoff, do you think that they shot it like simultaneously with Friends and then like let that go? I mean, I know it's shot on the same lot, and you got to convert that 4,000.
Could you imagine?
You got to convert that 4,000 square foot New York apartment to a 4,000 square foot LA apartment, which we all relate to.
They're sneaking Matt LeBlanc around like they have a garbage, like they have a paper bag around over his head. And they're like, yeah, I can't believe Tom Cruise is on set, right, Tom? Like,
no one's getting these photos.
But let's dive into this pilot, right? And we start off with aviation, which is something we are all very familiar with here at the TV Pilots License. What did you think of this fun cold open scene where Matt LeBlanc gives us, Joey gives us all the exposition we need in case we have been dead for the past 4 months when Friends ended?
The simplest why is today different of I moved to LA.
Yeah, it's perfect. Like Joey starts spilling everything about his situation to his taxi driver. He's like, I'm gonna be an actor, and I was on a soap opera. I gotta go out to Los Angeles to continue or like expand my acting career. And he's like, well, if you want to be an actor, you got to move to Hollywood, right? Yeah. So what are you doing in Dallas? It's a perfect reveal. It's a perfect
literally
reveal.
In my notes, I have the easiest time getting out of LAX I've ever seen in my entire life, just to have that ruined and the truth remain the truth.
This is a TVPL fun fact. No one lives in Dallas.
It's a really simple way to introduce what Joey as a protagonist is going to be. Because you're used to him being in this ensemble of, we'll call them acquaintances, who each have a very different box they check, a different dynamic they have off of one another. And this is going to be, we are sort of following this lovable, bumbling idiot in his journey in a new place on his own. And this cold open does a very good job of setting that up, where it's like, he is earnest, he's got his heart on his sleeve, he's going to have an eager go at it, but boy is he dumb, and let's see how this plays out.
Yeah.
And we end up, we have this cold open, we get this, Max, I really like how you put this, Entourage Light title sequence. What did you guys think of seeing LA through the eyes of Joey and old convertible?
The eyes of Joey are the eyes of Rich, baby. That's exactly how I see my life every single day in this shining, glimmering city on the hill.
When Rich wakes up in the morning, he hops in his convertible and he drives past Pink's Hot Dogs, rain or shine. I wasn't joking about that, though, because it's like, okay, think about this. Think again about how quickly this pilot got put into production, how fast it aired. What show came out, I think, a year before was the hottest thing on TV? Entourage. And that's really what this is to me throughout this entire pilot. It feels like the PG, family-friendly network version of it, where we are following this kind of goofy, doofy bachelor, his acquaintances in his circle who are family of his from back home in New York that are living out here with him, excited about his acting dreams. We get this kind of rock and roll wah-wah convertible guitar cruising through the city intro. We see Joey on set. We see him in his real life with family. And so much of this feels like we're taking the beats of this hot cable show while making jokes about cable shows and putting it into an NBC package.
And we'll never know if Joey ever gets Aquaman. They never continued the series to that point.
If this show was able to pull off getting people like James Cameron for cameos or anything, it would have lasted 10 seasons.
Oh, 100%. We already talked about the guest appearance and how every director in Hollywood wants that Emmy so badly. So we would we would still have Joey today, and Steven Spielberg would be the new neighbor just popping in.
Hey, I just decided to move into a 2-bedroom.
Let's talk about the cast though in this show, because on paper today, you look at this cast list and you say, oh, they actually did.
That's the guy from Friends.
Yeah, that's Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah.
How did they get him for this? Like, I have a lot of questions. But, like, we have, Max, you even mentioned the family of Drea de Matteo playing his sister Gina, Paulo Constanzo playing his nephew Michael.
Who has the weirdest hair. The most uncomfortable looking hair.
I can't imagine having a tight curl on my head personally. No one on this podcast has any familiarity with curly hair whatsoever.
They gave that man a helmet. They gave that man a hair helmet and expected him to look like an actor.
Well, they had to say, how is he different than Gina and Joey? He's smart. We have to give him a helmet to protect that big brain.
That's right.
And that's why Joey being canceled is going to lead him to his doctor show of Royal Pains, which he's going to have a much better run with.
Yes, and boy, can I not wait to do Royal Pains on the show. Did this pilot just make me so excited to do Royal Pains? Yes, it did. Yeah. But I want to talk about this character of Gina, right? Because one of the things that My Network Connections, the TV show, did a really good job of is having different people with different perspectives and different acting methods or joke-telling senses. This show, and I'm curious if you two felt this, it felt like a lot of the characters were doing the same type of jokes that Joey did, which is, oh, I am dumb idiot. or dumb, affable, like lovable person. This is how I deliver jokes. And they were making Drea de Matteo present in that way.
Well, okay. So I see Joey as like, the character of Joey as like a writer's dream. That's your Kramer. That's your Jack from Will and Grace. That is your, I'm going to pretend to know, or I'm not going to know what's going on. I'm going to look like a big old dummy. And that's going to be your, Matt LeBlanc actually had like some of the best, probably had the best job on Friends, where he gets to be stupid. When you're stupid, not a lot of plot lines revolve around you, and you are there to just knock it. You're there to knock stuff out of the park over and over and over and over and over again. So you can tell from carrying over the two of these writers from Friends that they're so familiar with writing for Joey at this point that they're like, okay, we know exactly how to build a scene around him. The other characters can do whatever they want, I guess. We'll just have Joey come in with a joke every 3 lines, and you don't have to do anything else.
Yeah, I think continuing off of that, you get a revolving door character, or someone like Joey, where it's and in this world now he is in his own condo, and he's the affable, goofy bachelor, and Joey's always going to have a romantic interest. There's going to be something revolving around that, whoever like the flavor of the week is, or whatever trysts he gets into. And you can just continue to play off of those things. Gina feels like girl Joey. It feels like Joey with wig and breasts, which
they make a lot of references.
Those breasts heavily mentioned, by the way.
Yeah, that's like every third joke is Drea de Matteo's chest in this pilot. But it is like, okay, what would a girl protagonist Joey be? Okay, they would also be very comfortable and confident in their sexuality. It would also be very brash. They also would probably be very prideful, but make kind of dumb decisions at the same time. And then like they'll call this in in writing or in improv 2 peas in a pod. And that's what they feel like, is that these two are 2 peas in a pod, where you just want to see them out there and to heighten each other, one joke after another.
Well, let's talk about a little bit outside of the pod, right? And Max, you made mention of it, right? There was this girl next door character that was changed out from our screener. Initially, that was played just for some fun background. Ashley Scott was originally in this pilot playing Allison, and she was replaced by Andrea Anders playing Alex. And I have a weird question to ask you two. do you think this is a replacement worthy character to be added into this pilot? Because we have the instance of being able to say, like, well, this was seen as better, right? Like, this was seen as the step up or the level up to this roster.
I'm sorry to this man, but I had to look up who Ashley Scott was. It is a non-consequential character that's just there once again to, like, you know, I mean, thank God that Joey's character did not end up sleeping with her, or that there was any sort of, like, actual character chemistry, because you want to have that consistent, like, will they, won't they, with that banter back and forth kind of a thing. But I did not know Ashley Scott. I have not watched any of the things that she has been in, or at least not anything on Google currently. And I think she did a terrific job of being the neighbor to trade barbs with. That is, like, I'm trying to think of, like, who would be a comparison character, but I guess it would be someone like the brother in Everybody Loves Raymond, or just neighbors that pop in and out.
Well, I think it's important to give Joey someone who is a girl next door character for him, someone who there's a clear crush. It's unreciprocated because we learn that she is married. She has forgot to wear her wedding ring when talking with Joey. She's not in the entertainment industry, so there's this opportunity to put Joey in situations that are not just actor life scenarios, and to just be this person who is so unlike the other women in this pilot. Because the way that Andrea Anders, for viewers who want a more contemporary reference of her, you can see her as Michelle Lasso and Ted Lasso, Ted's ex-wife. She's such a contrast from Jennifer Coolidge's Bobby and Drea de Matteo's Gina, who are these massive, over-the-top, spark plug characters, and she grounds this to a different type of sitcom, and I think you need that type of energy change to allow Joey to have different kinds of scenes and different kinds of relationships.
You have to butt their California experiences against each other, basically, because that is like an important part of, like, even if you do work in entertainment, meeting people who don't, because it is truly what you end up getting is the studio if you don't have anybody who doesn't work in show business on that show. So it is, it's a great move to have her.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about that studio existence with the Jennifer Coolidge character and some of the inside Hollywood references that are also used throughout this pilot.
The inside Hollywood references, you mean?
We got the BoJack Horseman joke, 10 years early?
Yeah, a little bit early. I mean, we get Jennifer Coolidge. We're given the idea that this woman is a shark. This is the reason that Joey is out in Hollywood. And we get one scene with this character of Bobby. And I mean, Max, this is Jennifer Coolidge a little bit off the height of her American Pie powers. Right, like where we have her as
where
Stifler's
she plays
mom.
Stifler's mom for like 25 seconds of screen time.
American Pie 2, where she plays her for like 10 minutes total.
You're just completely erasing over Legally Blonde and Legally Blonde 2, Red, White, and Blonde. What are you doing?
I know, I am the worst, but I mean,
Red, White, and Blonde?
I think that now, as we look at Jennifer Coolidge, we have a lot more stuff to work off of, if that makes sense. There's been a revival of Jennifer Coolidge in recent years.
Buddy never went away. Let's talk about Best in Show. I saw 25th anniversary stuff for Best in Show all over the National Dog Show this past Thanksgiving. They were giving away Busy Bee dolls if you scanned a QR code on your TV. It has never died down. There has been hype for that woman for like 30 years strong.
J. Cool for life.
So let me get to my fucking question then, you two assholes.
Fine, no Busy Bee for you.
No Busy Bee for me, but I'm curious if you think that this is a character that Jennifer Coolidge is the right fit for, or if you are more intrigued by Bobby, by the introduction of Bobby, once Joey realizes he has no work and he is in LA.
What's so weird is that she is the right fit for that character. I don't think she really brought it all that much. I was expecting a little bit more from her because, like, I know her from Best in Show. I know her from Legally Blonde. Like, I know how talented she is. and it just felt like it just kind of dropped off. I don't know how to explain it. She's not a bad actor by any means, but it was just like it really felt flat.
Jennifer Coolidge could play this role in her sleep.
Yes.
Like, there's no doubt about that. But I'm with you. It feels like she's at a 6 of her Coolidge.
Yes.
Like, there's from like Calvin to Jennifer, she's not fully charged in her Coolidge right now.
God damn it.
And it's missing that one bit. She is a spark plug. She is a firecracker. And you do get that feeling of, I will go to the mat for you. I will die for you. I will do anything for you. But it's like, I wanted that one bigger gag or laugh line. I wanted something where she really took ownership of it in a way beyond just, this is the type of character that I could knock out of the park on a day's notice.
I think that one of the things this show suffers from that I look at is I call this the Tim Robinson effect, right? Anytime Tim Robinson is in something, you think, oh, Tim Robinson has to be the weirdest person in this scene. And he's always outdone by someone.
Yeah.
Right? What Joey seems to be suffering from in this scene, as well as a couple of others that I could point out if you asked me nicely, is the idea that, well, Joey has to be the funniest person in this scene. And how do we do that? Well, we have to potentially tell Jennifer Coolidge to cool it off a little bit so that Joey's lines hit a little bit harder.
Yeah, I agree. I see where you're going with that. And I do just think, like, I think they tried to make her something she isn't, and what is in her wheelhouse is bimbo. And no disrespect or anything, but it's like that is what she sells. That's what she lands in everything that she has been in up until this point. And she just wasn't enough of a bimbo. Again, positive.
Complimentary.
Yeah, complimentary, non-derogatory.
Yeah, it just felt like, you know what? I think in addition to the Tim Robinson effect, I think we're also getting the effect of, oh, we have to shoot this again. Oh, we have 2 weeks. That is very much like these characters are not fleshed out yet.
I want to go back to my This Is Just Network entourage with it needed to lead further into her as his Ari Gold. Like, I need this character to be absolutely insane from the first time I meet them. I need to be scared. Bobby is entertaining. Bobby is amusing. I'm not terrified of this person, though. I don't necessarily think that they wrote it far enough. And I think you're onto something there, Jeff, where it's like, we need Matt LeBlanc to be the focus in the scene, so we don't let these supporting characters like Bobby go off the leash to the extent they can, because we're trying to put so many eyes on, this is Joey's show, this is his half hour.
Right. You gotta keep it an ensemble, though, and I think that's where they made the mistake.
So the only character, and I do want to get to, we have this big Why Is Today Different, right? Where it is Joey is moving to LA to be a working actor and have his own TV show. But on the other side of that, we have Why Is Today Different?
Punch Cop?
Yeah. Which, boy, wait till we get to Things I Loved, because boy, I want to just talk all about Punch Cop. But Michael being this character that does seem different. Paulo Constanzo, I want to give all of the credit in the world, because of the characters that we meet in this universe of Joey, he is the one that stands out,
right?
Because he is different. He does a fantastic job of acting, and I am believing that he is the dork that goes to whatever wonderful institution exists in California and is very much
are we not
trying.
Name dropping Caltech, or is that like a?
I
was like,
forgot
no,
if it was Caltech,
I'm an MIT man.
I forgot if it was Caltech, but like, I think that it is really interesting that the character that I'm like, hey, this character actually stood out. This character was different. I was paying attention when they were speaking.
Yeah,
was Michael. And his big issue is he wants to move out from his mother's, which is also extremely relatable
totally
as a problem to the audience. Maybe even more so than I'm moving to LA to become a working actor. What did you think about this as being the other Why Is Today Different?
Well, you get the perfect contrast of Joey being the Lothario, he's sleeping with everybody, and then having a 24-year-old nerd virgin nephew as as the character that's going to move in with them. That's very odd couple. It's very good to bounce it back and forth off of each other, and I think they do a really good job with this. This is like this is a little bit like a Penny and Big Bang Theory cast like kind of combination where Penny's not an idiot. Kaylee Cuoco's character is not an idiot, but that is like I am going to be so much smarter than you that I can't even bring it up, and that is it's a really solid combination.
I think it's the thing that keeps the show from falling into the trap of it's just a show about Hollywood. It's just like an inside baseball actor show, because it's almost like The Secret misdirection. It's Joey's coming out to LA to pursue his Hollywood dreams. He's coming out here for acting and glitz and glam. And actually what Joey is going to be a 30-minute multicam about this kind of bumbling himbo from New York connecting with his family and grounding himself and maybe learning to be, you know, more of a father figure, discovering his paternal side as he gets older. And that's really the direction we're taking this into. And that's what I think this character of Michael does. I think that's what the next door neighbor of Alex does. They're like the secret characters that say the spice is going to be Joey doesn't know which camera to turn to, but 90% of this show is going to be how can I grow as a person?
Yeah, and I guess we should jump in with the overall arc of Joey's story too, because it's not just like him moving to LA. It is or potentially getting a 22-year-old, 24-year-old nephew coming in to live with him. It's also he came out for an acting job for Punch Cop, quote unquote, and that show got canceled immediately. Which is how many fucking LA stories is that? It feels like it's almost all of them.
Look, man, sometimes you shoot the pilot and it's the best thing that's ever happened to you, and the pilot doesn't get picked up and you're back to square one.
Sometimes the pilot shoots you.
Oh my God, Punch Cop. That should have been the tagline. They would have gotten at least 2 episodes if they made that the tagline for Punch Cop.
So we got Punch Cop. Punch Cop doesn't go. Joey famously turns down a medical procedural called Nurses, which blows the absolute hell up. Which I have to imagine just has to be making fun of either Grey's Anatomy or ER, but it's beautiful. They bring in the Entertainment Tonight crew, right? That's I can't remember who exactly does Entertainment Tonight back then, but yeah, I mean it's he has a lot of different life trajectories in one episode.
It's a great pilot season he's having.
Yeah, an amazing pilot season. I mean, let's finish up this pilot. Let's talk a little bit about this. Every time we do one of these shows, there is a big speech. There is the, there is the biggest speech. And
you got to have the speech, baby.
And while we've been talking about the idea of Joey's moving to LA for acting, all these things, it really comes down to Joey's moving to LA because he needs a new beginning, because things did not work out as he had planned in New York. And I mean, as far as an ending to our pilot and giving us the invitation to watch more, how do you think that this speech did?
I mean,
is it even a 2004 sitcom if you don't end with physical violence and a gay joke?
Yeah, dog.
Just gonna say it.
That's some 14-year-old smooth brain TV for me. That is. I think it's a powerful ending. You kind of have to have it. You get it in almost every like James Burrows like universe sitcom. You get it in Cheers pilot. You get it in. I think you get it in the Friends pilot. You get it in the Mid-Century Modern. You get it so many of them. You have to have the crux of it being one character's come to Jesus moment, and then you tie a nice bow on it with a gay joke, I guess.
Yeah,
that's all by the playbook, baby.
Well, gentlemen, that is this pilot, but I I'm curious, things that you loved, maybe things that you want to give a little bit more shine that maybe we didn't discuss in too much depth. Max, what are you thinking about?
Joey's 2 on-set moments are actually so full of laughs, from the superfluous amount of blood in Punch Cop, which is Thursdays following Rich's other show in development, Vic Mackey Hall Monitor. And Joey's screen test for the Access Hollywood-esque gig where he just cannot find a camera, cannot find a light, cannot read a prompter. It's just Gag City, Population Joey, and those 2 moments are such physical comedy chops, showcases for Matt LeBlanc, where it's just like, be big, be doofy, hit the thing really hard, and we're just going to make this work.
Those 2 examples are such great instances where I'm like, I absolutely see why they were so excited about doing something like this, because you see those and you're like, oh, like the punching with the blood splatter joke is just slightly elevated enough that I was just like losing my damn mind, because it's like we would never do this in Friends, but would we do this in this? I hope that there's a million of these scenes in this show, because I would absolutely tune in all the time.
And that's what like a hunky comedic actor should look like. Just kind of like a big frame. Like, you're not overly jacked, you're not on steroids or anything like that. You're just kind of like a big broad dude in a tank top getting covered in fake blood.
Yeah, Kumail Nanjiani, you bitch.
Now we'll never come on the podcast. Rich, what about you? What were some
now
things
he
that you
might
loved?
come on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, that's true. All right, Rich, what are you thinking?
So I gotta give it up for the joke rating in this. It is for all of the jokes that they had burned in the run of Friends, who 10 plus seasons, I think. The moment where they're laying out by the pool and they says, "I love it here. It's 72 and sunny every day. I wonder what it's even like in New York." She opens up the weather and says 71, and he says, "Poor bastards." It was fucking beautiful. Every little Joey moment was exactly what you wanted if you're a Friends fan. I think they did a perfect transition of his character.
Yeah, to continue on the vein that we've all been on, I love the cold open of this pilot.
It's so good.
I think it is such a brilliant way to start to remind everyone, like, oh yeah, why do we like Joey? Because he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And like that's why we like him. And then to continue after the opening credits to have him look at the sign saying "Welcome to Los Angeles" and be like, "Oh, good."
Yeah.
It's like great.
Yeah,
like
thank God.
that is Matt LeBlanc is so wonderful as this character.
Yeah.
And just absolutely dominates at like, that's one of the things where I'm like, yeah, I can complain about the Tim Robinson effect and that not being a thing in the show, but at the same time I'm looking at Matt LeBlanc and I'm like, how do you tell him to not steal the scene, because he's fucking Joey and he's been doing this for 10 years as this character, and it's just like, this is like riding a bike to him. Like, it's ridiculous.
Do you guys think, like, if you play a character long enough, you start to think like them? Like
Ellen, I know that Ellen Pompeo is just hanging around in surgery rooms, just like ready.
I think
ready
you
to
pick
go.
enough up. I bet I give Ellen Pompeo the tools. I bet she can get pretty all the way through an appendectomy at this point.
Okay, this is a very off-topic topic, but we're putting it on. Do we think that Ellen Pompeo could perform a tracheotomy correctly if there was someone choking on an object?
100%. I think that she has had to do enough tracheotomies on prop people with actual medical supervision on set, with actual doctors showing her how to properly do it for maximum effect, that she could do it. I 100% would trust her.
Yeah.
So, you know what? This is our question of the week to the audience.
Please
What do you
write
think is
in.
the most complex surgery that Ellen Pompeo could do without killing a person
think she
or
can get through an
severely maiming
amputation?
them? We're putting that. That's a clip. That's for TikTok. 100%. Can't wait. Well, let's talk about wait a minute moments, things that caused you pause. This pilot definitely is not a perfect pilot. I don't think either of you were prepared to argue that to me.
It doesn't
but I
get
want
the
to see
Sully
if there's
Sullenberger Award for perfect pilots.
I want to see if there's something that stood out to you as maybe a little bit of a wait a minute. Max, what are you thinking?
God, I mean, you asked if Matt LeBlanc just thinks as Joey after 10 years, and it's like, look, none of you went to go see that movie Ed, where they had a chimpanzee play third base for a minor league baseball team, and now you had to spend 10 years playing Joey Tribianni. I've got two really quick ones. Why is there just randomly a track shot in the scene at his agent's office? Like we never see it again. Did they just find like a dolly on the Warner Brothers lot and they say, hey, like maybe they won't notice on the Prestige shows if we take this dolly and do a track shot really quick?
Put the camera on a skateboard.
And then just more like filming and blocking. When we introduce his nephew of Michael, good God, this is that kind of multicam shtick that just makes me groan so loud, where it's like, and your nephew's gonna be here soon. And then like he hard enters from the side, he hits his mark and goes, Uncle Joey. And I'm just like, oh my God, the blocking on this.
Rich, what about you?
It's so funny. We both have very technical ones. The airport background actors are doing a terrible job, and they all look like they just got shuffled in from a Christina Aguilera music video. That just like everyone in LA dresses like they're about to be in an American Apparel ad is crazy. No one is dressed normal. No one is like I was. You should never be painfully aware of the background actors. It's not great.
Yeah, I was going to say wardrobe on this show left something to be desired on everybody, like on every front. I know the early 2000s
Jeff
were
needs
weird.
to see more of those fake boobies.
I lived in them. That's my other wait a minute moment. The fake boobs joke. You get a scene and a half and then you're done. We don't need more than that. We really don't.
That was what she went up, right? She went up a scene and a half.
Yeah, but you do a pilot. You got your A plot, your B plot, your double D plot.
Swish.
You have to custom order those. But we do have one more question. It's an in-flight question. Our in-flight question this week comes from Jeremy in Illinois. And Jeremy asked, name a show that you want to have a spinoff for. And I am just going to go. It's basically the opposite of your question, Rich, and I think it's a good one. Also, to our frequent flyer, Lauren, who just asked, how are you doing? Thank you for asking. Not enough people ask us how we're doing.
Poorly. We're doing a podcast.
Yeah, we're doing great. But I do want to get to Jeremy's question, and I have an answer. I think Community did such a nice job of giving us a send-off for Donald Glover, as Donald Glover was very, very busy during that show and had very good reasons to leave that show given what was happening behind the scenes. But I would have really liked a 1, 2, maybe 3 season show about Troy Barnes as he completes his quest that was given to him by Pierce Hawthorne.
Very
but
nice.
I'm curious for you two, what is the spinoff that you are missing in your life or you want to see come out soon? And you can also tell Lauren how you're doing as well. I think that we can answer 2 in-flight questions today.
Lauren, we don't have the time.
Rich, what are you thinking?
I know that this was kind of satiated by Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, but I do want a spinoff of Jenna's character from 30 Rock. I think that would have done exceptionally well. I think she's the crux of so much humor in that show. She is the energy and the craziness that made it such a classic. I think justice for Jenna. I'm on Jenna's side.
Max, what about you?
Alrighty, so I am going to go with a little show known as Scrubs, and I need to go with just the character of Ted Buckland. I love his little...
Oh, absolutely.
I love his little a cappella band where we get cameos from them, his little like musical interludes, and I want to see Ted leave behind his administrative, bureaucratic, white-collar life and pursue music full-time. I want to get that man on the road with his music, going city to city, pursuing his dreams.
Buddy, I got 2 words for you. young Ted. What do you think?
Whoa.
You make it a multicam.
Silence
I'm fully
after
in. You make it a multicam. I'm in. All right. Well, Jeremy and Lauren, thank you so much for your in-flight questions. If you have an in-flight question that you'd like to submit to the show, you can submit those at tvpilotslicense.com. You can also shoot us a text or leave us a voicemail at 213-290-1713. Let's talk a little bit about the history of this show. This show had 2 seasons and now 46 fully streaming available episodes. I'm going to explain
46?
what I mean by 46.
Damn.
I'm going to explain what I mean by now available in a second. As far as how this show did, this show premiered to 18.55 million viewers with its first episode. And for the beginning of its first season, it did really well. It was maintaining about like 60%, and then it started to really go downhill after episode 16. But it had already been renewed for a second season, so NBC said, let's give it another shot. We're going to make Jennifer Coolidge more of a mainstay character in this show, and we're going to try our best.
America was so transfixed with the unbelievable and unpredictable run of the 2005 Chicago White Sox that they couldn't possibly watch anything else.
So the show's final episode, just to give you guys an idea, we started at 18.55, had 4.09 million viewers. And then the show was on pause, and then the show was canceled without finishing the rest of the episodes.
Oof.
We now fast forward to the year of 2025. It is October. Friends starts a YouTube page. Yes, the TV show starts a YouTube page. I would like to know how it has consciousness. And then from there, 8 episodes of Joey that have never been seen because it was canceled appear on the YouTube channel, which you can watch all of Joey on YouTube today if you'd want. That's not where the weirdness ends, though. So other than the show being viewed internationally, the show was made available on DVD. That's a normal thing that I say. The first season was made available anywhere that you were able to watch it. So New Zealand, Argentina, Brazil, Canada, the US. The second season, the full second season, was only made available in Canada. They never released the full DVDs anywhere else.
You mean to tell me Argentina didn't get season 2 of Jose?
They did not.
Damn.
Let's talk about awards. 5 nominations, including 2 wins. One was for TV music, and they also won a People's Choice Award. But while Joey did move to LA, and Matt LeBlanc received a Teen Choice Award nomination, he has no excuse to go to the beach as he did not win a surfboard. And that is the history of this show. Rich, it is time for your game of the week.
So I know we've done a little bit of a quiz on soap operas in the past. I want to say probably like a season or so ago. I'm bringing it back because Joey is obviously famous for being on The Young and the Restless. Today we're going to do fun facts about the history of soap operas. So we are now in an era where regular companies are commonplace in the production space. Apple, Amazon, it's only getting worse and worse in that general regard. But it is actually history repeating itself because the massive uptick of soap operas in the 40s, 50s, and 60s were made on the radio and also TV networks. They're produced by those networks. However, they were also produced by A, Procter & Gamble, B, Colgate, C, DuPont, D, Johnson & Johnson.
Procter & Gamble.
B, Colgate.
It is P&G, baby. Ohio's finest.
They originated. That's why it's called a soap opera, because they were doing it to sell soap.
Yeah, and but not only that, they made it in-house, which is fucking crazy.
Oh, God, they made their own soap? Oh, weirdos.
And I think, I might have this wrong, I think P&G owned the rights to the People's Choice Awards for like ever, and they only recently sold them.
I did not know that.
Oh, my God, and that's why movies are rated PG.
Oh, my God. This thing goes all the way to the top.
And you can also eat Tide Pods. Next question, Rich.
Second TVPL fun fact: you can eat Tide Pods. Take that to the bank, kids. All right.
Please don't censor us, Spotify. It was a joke, I swear.
All right. Second question: of the longest tenured TV shows in American history, 9 of the 10 of them are soap operas. One of them made the leap from radio to TV. So it started as a radio show, moved to TV. So its run is even longer. What soap opera is it? Is it A, General Hospital, B, Guiding Light, C, As the World Turns, D, Days of Our Lives?
As the World Turns sounds... Go for it.
You're going As the World Turns. I'm going Days of Our Lives because of that really dramatic intro they have.
Yeah, As the World Turns just sounds like something they'd say on the radio.
Like sad through the hourglass.
As
the days
the
of our
world
lives.
turns.
In researching this, I realized that we should all write a soap opera together because that's how you guarantee a job until you're 95 years old. But it is B, Guiding Light. Guiding Light started as a radio series and moved to TV. And that's my Joey soap opera quiz.
Well, gentlemen, as our flight is coming to a land, I have 2 questions for each of you. The first question being, you watched the pilot of Joey. Maybe this was the first time. Maybe you've watched it other times. Are you going to watch episode 2? And then the second question is, we are sort of in a very weird era of spinoffs where, like, there's some of them, but for very, very, very specific IP. Do you want to see more spinoffs filling the airwaves, or maybe more original IP instead? So, Rich, what are you thinking?
I sat down to watch Joey, and with an entire confident millennial man sense that I was not going to like it, and I was wrong. I think I was
Wow.
I think it was charming. I think they kept the entire voice of Joey. I think that the rest of the ensemble is not yet figured out yet, but I laughed a lot. The jokes per minute is great. You have tremendous writers carrying over to the show. As it goes for spinoffs, I mean, I loved Frasier. It's not a an offer in the record of spinoffs.
Sure.
So I would say go for it. I got a little worried that they were going to make Ted Lasso into like the Just Coach Beard show or whatever the hell that they're trying to do with it now. And like
the Ted Lasso universe.
Yeah, the Ted Lasso extended universe. And frankly, like that made me groan and roll my eyes. But if good TV is good TV, if you're going to do it well, do it.
Max, what are you thinking?
I really thought this was going to be a slam dunk, we make fun of bad TV hour, and I was surprised how charming I did find this. Joey is probably a no for me as to keep watching it. I do think that there's plot issues and a supporting cast that doesn't quite get there for me, and I also just... While I think Matt LeBlanc is good at what he does, I don't know if it's the type of character that I want to necessarily spend a half hour each week just focused on. But if you only know this show through its lore and as this weird urban legend and this cautionary tale of spinoffs, check it out. Because I do think that you will be pleasantly surprised. This is not what it was made to be in 2004. There is something here. It just never quite figured out. As for spinoffs, I think Joey is also the cautionary tale there. I want to see spinoffs that focus on peripheral characters who exist outside of the main confines of the show. I think that's what Frasier did so well, is that
it's an entirely different show.
While a big part of Cheers, Frasier exists outside of the bar. He has an entire other life and people that we don't know, and you could take him and you could put him somewhere else, and you could take this little thing and expand upon it. Better Call Saul is the same way. Although Bob Odenkirk is a large supporting part of Breaking Bad, that character exists somewhere entirely else, and they played with time in that one. They had these timelines that were used in a really interesting way to show who this person was. And so I don't think you want to take a Joey and just put Joey somewhere else. I want to see things where characters from the outside of the circle get a chance to shine.
The
Oh, I'm sorry. I
no.
was going to say follow Max and I on social media so you can pick up our spec script for the Taxi spinoff Lotka. We'd love to get some investment money behind that.
All right. I'm going to do a weird fucking analogy, but buckle up. You guys ever have an avocado and then there's those weird yucky parts that you don't want to eat, but the rest of the avocado is pretty good?
Yeah.
That's Joey to me.
Okay.
There's a lot of
like
really good jokes that are in Joey. There's also the mushy parts that I don't want to eat because they're a little bit black. They probably taste the same, but I don't want to eat them because, you know what? I'm a delicate boy. So that I definitely think that Joey suffers from the idea of, well, we have this character that's beloved, so they have to be the star of the show, which I made my point very clear. Other people can be stars in scenes. I'm sure Matt LeBlanc is a big boy and would rather have a paycheck from a consistently great show than just starring in every single scene
Frasier
of
doesn't
his show.
win without Roz and Niles.
Exactly. And Max, I think you have something that I think we're seeing a lot of successful spin-offs, and I'm going to use air quotes for some of this, for shows that, like, Parks and Rec is technically a spin-off of The Office. The paper company decided we're going to take one character from the paper, took one character from The Office and said, all right, they're going to be in this technically, but we're not going to focus on them. We're going to focus on this entirely new cast of characters in a format you like, but let's tell a different story. Don't fall into the trap of taking someone that you really love and just giving them a job for the rest of their life.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of different... I want everyone to work.
We made that mistake with Aaron Rodgers. We'll never do it again.
Yeah. This is not me saying I don't want actors to act consistently. This is me more so saying I think that there are really cool stories to tell, and you can invite those actors to replay their roles occasionally rather than focusing on just them and falling into that trap.
And if those actors are in a big summer comedy where their co-star is a chimpanzee playing minor league baseball, go see it.
Yeah.
Go support them so they can play these other characters. Go see their baseball chimp movies.
Support chimps in minor league baseball is what I heard Max say.
Well, gentlemen, that was our flight. But before we go, I want to make sure that folks can find you wherever you'd like to be found. Rich, where can folks find you?
You can find me living underneath a porn actor. It's not the best. And you can find me on Instagram at Damn That's Rich. You can find original sketch comedy for Max and I over at Dadwagon Comedy on the TikTok app.
Max?
You can find me all over Ollywoo and on all things social media at Maxwell Singh.
North Hollywood now.
Oh my God. And you can find me finding my camera.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for me on social media, you can find me at Run Jeff Run. If you're looking for the TV Pilot's License, you can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can also watch our smiling faces on YouTube. Thank you for liking, subscribing, leaving reviews. We're ending the year strong, which is really fun. And make sure while you're traveling for the holidays that you're listening to us and telling your friends. That's at least what's on my wish list. If you have a question for the show, maybe an in-flight question or a suggestion for a new episode, you can also submit those at tvpilotslicense.com or give us a call, leave us a voicemail, or shoot us a text at 213-290-1713. Make sure to watch out for social media as we sneak preview some of the things that are coming up. But with the plane landed and the seatbelt sign off, Rich?
I made a TVPL subreddit. So if you want to talk TVPL... If you want to, I'm going to post clips, or I'm going to post the links to every episode. If you want to comment on it, if you want to suggest stuff, if you want to talk to other TPL fans, it's reddit.r/TVPL.
And if you're just a lurker on Reddit like me, still participate, still upvote
Go
stuff.
comment
It's
stuff.
really helpful for our stuff. But with the plane landed and the seatbelt sign off, we look forward to flying the bright skies of the TV world with you again soon. Until then, keep your eyes on the skies and your fingers on the dial. And you'll find me in Hollywood.
Oh, you defecate on one corpse.